President Obama looked like a deer trapped in headlights, and you've got to wonder whether that experience may count for something. As you said, there is a perception of him as a bit uber rich, as it were, and
that taxation affair in the early days of the Romney Obama campaign was quite a bit of a setback for the Romney camp. But once the release was made, it seems to have died away now. What was there? I don't think there was too much controversy about that once it was released. So it put Obama ahead for a little while, but after that, the taxation thing just didn't come into play again.
The 47% remarks.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I actually saw a funny.
Not only that, but also Romney's own tax history.
Yeah,
that impacted on the camp for a long time. But then after that, like just recently, in the recent few weeks, it just seems to have stopped. Really, it seems to have died away, and the election has moved on to other things. So,
yeah. Well, just on those 47% remarks, I saw an interview with some Democratic strategists, and it turns out they got it off a YouTube video. Their investigative journalism managed to take them to a YouTube video, and somehow those comments, which were pretty outrageous, even when you put them into context, hadn't been discovered. So it was a big scoop for them, but I think in terms of on the tax front, Governor Romney has very little to hide. But we'll move away from the economy and richness and everything. The next issue, I think, is going to be foreign affairs, and in particular, recently, President Obama's handling of the Libyan attacks, attacks on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi.
Oh yes,
where Republicans claim that it took far too long for President Obama and the administration to officially declare it a planned terrorist attack, which it now looks like being, instead of a spontaneous protest to the innocence of Muslims. Video.
Well, not 100% sure you could say that, really. Is there any more evidence towards that being said? Like, towards a terrorist attack being planned? Was this a planned thing, or what they're saying?
Within about a week of the attacks happening on September the 11th, you had people like the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton calling it a planned terrorist attack, but there were some that were slow on the uptake and initially said that it was probably a response to the innocence of Muslims. So I think it is well established now. I think once the Libyan Prime Minister declared that it was probably a terrorist attack, there was little choice but for the American government to follow. Yeah, and of course Chris Stevens, the ambassador to Libya, was killed in it. So there's a lot at stake here. The average teenager.
Yeah, I think Mitt Romney could possibly use that to criticize his foreign policy. That example of a planned terrorist attack.
So what? He wasn't, because he didn't react fast enough. Yeah. He didn't understand the situation.
Romney could use that to his advantage in terms of a negative foreign policy. Also, I think in terms of foreign policy, I think Obama. I'm not sure if he's mentioned much about, but his success in dealing with Osama bin Laden. I'm not sure if he's mentioned that.
Yeah,
that seems.
that is true.
That's a true point, but to be honest, I don't think that has been a focus of the election. I don't think it's going to be a focus in the next week.
That seemed like a year and a half ago. That seemed like it would have been one of the major issues of the campaign.
But now it's just dwindled away like it's nothing.
Because at the end of the day,
it's killing.
How much was President Obama's involvement worth in that whole attack?
Okay. Well, say the murder of Osama bin Laden was responsible for a brave spike in popularity for Obama, but the same thing happened with Bush after 9/11 attacks, and Bush had a massive spike in popularity, that spike basically carried him to victory in the next election.
But did he use that in his political campaign, like the 9/11 attacks?
Well, see, the difference between Osama bin Laden and 9/11 is that Bush didn't really do anything with 9/11. Like, he wasn't responsible for anything. Yeah. He was attacked, and the country needed a new leader to support them as they fought against a new enemy.
He did bomb the Tora Bora Mountains in Afghanistan for a few months after the 9/11 attacks. Left Wing, I can see you have something to say on it.
I was just going to say that the issue. Look, it's an interesting issue, but I was just going to ask the group here, do we think it was a good idea that Obama didn't try and pick up on any spike in popularity or try and replicate that in the recent weeks because of what has been happening?
Well, I think I don't think he should have taken advantage of the incident, but I think Obama definitely had more to boast about because he was actually responsible for the capture and death of a famed terrorist.
Yes, if you see those wonderful images reported around the time, you had Obama leaning over multiple random faceless men in the White House with a comm in his ear, all action packed about that. And well, what else do you do in politics?
I've got to move us on. We are running out of time. Quickly, I want you to tell me who you want to win the election, and secondly, who you think will win the election, and then we'll end with just a quick summary of who's more likely to win the election. Average teenager, we'll go clockwise.
Well, I think I'm rooting for Barack Obama to win the election and get his second term in the White House, and I think he will win it because I believe he has a slight edge in the polls over Mitt Romney. I'm not too sure about that. Right wing will clear that up later.
Left wing.
Well, being left-wing, I'm sorry, I can't possibly say I side with Mitt Romney. So, yes, Obama. I think Obama will win it, though admittedly that's the kiss of death, knowing my form on this podcast. Yes. But I think he should win it, and although I think the upper house will be a very interesting affair as far as Republican dominance.
Centre right.
Well, I think this outcome would be a lot less. Start again. I think this outcome would have been a lot less predictable if Romney had performed as well in the second and third debates as he did in the first one. But since he didn't do quite as well, I'm going to have to side with Obama in this one. I don't think the incident in Libya will really affect the election that much.
So who do you want to win again?
Well, I think Obama will win.
No,
who do you want? I'm still undecided on who I think really deserves
That's not
to
an
win.
acceptable answer.
Okay, all right.
No, we're not moving on.
Yes, we are moving on.
We have
left.
What about you?
Centre
What about
left,
you, centre
opinion.
left?
Well, centre left. I would say that yes, I would want Obama to win for the same reason that, as the average teenager said, he would be able to get his second term in office. And to be honest, sure, he's had a few hardship in his time, like the global financial crisis, but to be honest, he's strived forward, he's gone hard, and he's made America a better, safer, and yes, just overall much better place. So I'm rooting for Obama, and I believe that he would win as well.
And finally,
I think Obama. I want Obama to win, and I have been grappling with this for some time because I've grown to quite like Mitt Romney and his business and house and everything. But I think Barack Obama still commands a sort of similar majestic poise to what he did at the beginning of the election, and that should hold him in good stead. But if we turn to the Electoral College, if we take the states leaning towards the candidates as one for the candidates, and if we take the poll numbers and put the undecided states in the categories, I reckon Wisconsin will go here. I reckon Florida will go here.
They can't actually see.
They're not meant to be seeing this. I'll give them the end result. Colorado will go that way. Ohio will go that way.
tension is building.
New Hampshire looks good for him.
Suspense is killing me.
Iowa.
Roman Cup.
Yep, and finally, Virginia should go to that guy. End result, Obama wins 271 to 267. It's going to be a close election.
Yes, it will.
Believe that.
Very close.
I have to admit, Obama is definitely more consistent. Romney seems to be flip-flopping on all of his policies.
That is the tag. that's been attached to
Abortion
it.
and
But
this
anyway,
and that.
that news is good news for it, isn't it, Mr. President?
What?
He's here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Uh,
Secret Service only
I thought you were meant to be down. What?
let's
I
just
thought
go.
you were meant to be running a campaign.
Let's just go.
Let's just me to it.
Let's just go. Dunedin for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday and Obama on Wednesday. I'm left. No, I'm not left.
You're right.
I'm right wing.
Amnesia.
One would
You're
think
right,
that
but you're also wrong.
one would think that I was left wing from my endorsement of Barack Obama.
Yes,
But
believe
I am right wing, and on behalf of the TeenMOP team, sayonara.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Holy
Bye.
Secret Service.